Thank you for joining us today on this episode of SeniorLivingGuide.com podcast. I am your host, Arlene Mahoney. And if you enjoy our monthly Senior Focus podcast, we can be downloaded and followed most anywhere you enjoy podcasts, such as Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, which is our most downloaded application, and so much more. SeniorLivingGuide.com provides our online users with a one-stop solution to help seniors and their caregivers find and connect with the best step in senior housing solutions, such as independent, assisted living, skilled nursing, memory care, or home health solutions, allowing you to age in place, all in one easy-to-navigate website. It's super easy peasy. And today our guests are Dr. Pam Trinetti and Janet Rooks. Dr. Trinetti is an osteopathic physician who specializes in geriatrics. Janet Rooks is a social worker and a dementia care specialist. They work together at the Parish Senior Consultation Center, where they focus on the care of patients with dementia. Dr. Trinetti is the Director of Aging Services at Parish, and Janet Rooks coordinates Parish Senior Solutions, which provides education, resources, and support for seniors and caregivers. Good morning, ladies, and welcome to the studio.
Hello, hello.
Hello. So we're going to talk about something kind of fun, I think. We're going to talk about...
We're going to make it fun.
We're going to make it fun.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So we're going to talk about the benefits of exercising, which can definitely be fun. It doesn't have to be really strenuous exercise per se.
We could be three little girls going out to play.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's get out and play. Let's talk about that a little bit. So let's talk about the benefits of exercise, how it can be the prevention and delay of Alzheimer's and other dementias. Because that's so super important these days. Lowering blood pressure, it can lower the risk of stroke, lower the risk of heart attack, and really, in all honesty, it improves the overall depression and well-being, and it helps pain, arthritis, fibromyalgia, which is becoming such a issue with so many Americans or so many people these days. So let's talk a little bit about that. What are your inputs and thoughts on that, Dr. Trinetti?
You know, we are going to explore all those things because it is absolutely true that every study that looks at all treatments of dementia, it's physical activity, exercise improves brain function. And, you know, we think about our brains and how important that is, but the truth is human beings are mostly muscle and bone. So take the hint.
Yeah.
We are made to move. And this really hit me because I'm involved in a very large cancer study. I get this huge forms to fill out about your lifestyle and then any cancer diagnosis. And when I was really brutally honest about my physical activity, I only spend about 3 hours a day moving. The rest of the time is sitting with patients, sitting in front of the computer at the office, maybe walking down the hallway, at night watching TV. But really, we could do a whole lot better.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and most of us aren't honest with ourselves. You know, we say we're busy, you know, but really when we look back, what are we really doing?
Yeah.
Like you're saying, you know, walking up and down the hall. Yeah, we are running and back and forth. But are we really accomplishing anything? Are we really doing that? Are we doing it in our minds? Are we just thinking that we're doing this?
Right.
And today, you know, we want to talk about physical activity and the dreaded word exercise.
Dum, dum, dum.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to ask, why aren't people anxious to exercise? And I mean, I know I enjoy exercise when I'm actively doing it. But if I get out of routine, it's hard for me to get back into it. Or if I'm really super comfy, it's hard to get back into it. Or if it's rainy or whatever, I just want to like not move sometimes. So there's so many different reasons. But so tell me, what are you seeing?
Yeah, let's go through all those reasons. The first that I've heard, I've never been athletic. I've always been a bookworm. And the thing is we somehow have gotten to this state that if you can't do something perfectly, you can't do it. And that's not true. I love bowling. I am a terrible bowler, but I love it. You don't have to win.
No.
And if you say, well, how am I supposed to go bowl? Well, there's skee ball. There's air hockey. Just move. You could play badminton alone. You can do ping pong balls alone. You can throw a beach ball up in the air. Just do something.
It's just keeping your body moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and they do bowling at the senior center or at the daycare, adult daycare. It is absolutely fantastic, and they get so much joy over doing a just a rubber ball or a bigger ball with milk cartons, empty milk cartons. It's bowling. So when you get real excited about bowling, I'll take you over to the adult daycare and we'll go bowling over there with
that's my speed.
With the folks over there.
Have you seen, there was a viral video that went, it went totally viral. A viral video that went viral. Imagine that. Of seniors in wheelchairs, mind you, playing basically Hungry Hungry Hippo. Have you seen that video?
I have not,
No.
but we'll all look for it.
It
now.
is. They all have baskets in their hands, and there's balls, a lot of balls on the floor. So they're using their wheelchairs to grab as many balls as they can in their baskets. And the balls are in a circle, and they're in the middle of a circle, and they're all kind of going for the balls.
Oh gosh,
It's an amazing video. So I actually can find it for you, I think, and share it with you. So definitely look up YouTube, Hungry Hungry Hippos, Seniors Citizens. I think you can definitely find it.
Oh, sure.
Oh gosh.
But yes.
Well, you know, let's replace the word exercise and physical activity with motion. You know, let's just get moving a little bit. You know, you don't have to be a dancer to get up and dance with the music. You know, I took a couple of free dance lessons, ballroom dancing. You know, it was absolutely hilarious. But they tried to sell me, you know, additional things, and I just laughed because I'm not that great of a dancer. I love to get up and move. You know, let's match, you know, the places of holding on a chair and dancing with the music, just swaying with the music. It's fun. You know, we've all got that song in our minds that brings out back years ago that we can get moving.
Yeah.
You know, I love rock and roll. When I hear Joan Jett, that song Joan Jett, you know, I want to dance.
Yeah.
I don't care where I am.
Yeah.
You know, I was at the grocery store one time and there was some music thing, and I had on a skirt, and I went, and there was a little girl in the grocery cart, and she says, and she was smiling, and I looked at her, and she was with her mother and her grandmother, and she said, "I love your skirt. I love your skirt." And I said, "Yeah, it goes swish swish." And so I'm standing in the cereal aisle at the grocery store, just swish swishing my skirt. She was smiling, her grandmother was smiling, and, you know, here I was dancing in the cereal aisle at Publix. It was, you know, but I'm not saying go to Publix and dance. They may call somebody to come get you. But, you know, it was just, you know, in my mind, I heard the song.
Yeah.
I moved.
Yeah. And if you're watching the video and they're jumping up off the floor, all you have to do is put your hands in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
know,
can't get up and swish, swish, you can dance with your arms. You know, you just have to move. Just move. It's motion. You know, it really is.
You don't have to be coordinated. You're not there to impress anybody.
No, and I'm not going to get a scholarship to do, you know, I'm not going to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. Just have fun with it.
Absolutely.
I think I am not coordinated. I never have been. I can't sing, but I still do karaoke. I warn people prior to karaoke. Just let them know it's not going to be great, but I'm going to have fun doing it.
And, you know, I bet they have fun listening to you.
They probably make fun of me, and that's okay.
They talk about you for weeks.
They probably do. I'm probably on YouTube somewhere.
So for you, karaoke is like a Japanese martial art. You're just slaying people.
Exactly. Exactly. But dancing's the same way. I'm not coordinated. I feel like I'm coordinated in my head, but if you look at me, it's not good. But that's okay. I'm having a good time.
That's right.
And bottom line is you're moving. You've got motion. You're moving. And the thing is, you feel better after you do it because you got the endorphins moving. You're moving those joints. You're moving those muscles.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing with motion is you get those things moving. You're stretching muscles. You're moving your body. Because if you don't, it's going to shut down.
Yeah, and you know what? You feel joy afterwards.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I whenever it happens, I'm like, oh, that was so much fun. I really enjoyed that. I'm just happier. And even I know that, you know, just doing a little bit of that in the Publix, that was a good Publix experience, right?
It was.
I mean, shopping really was a pleasure, right?
I don't think they're going to put me on their commercial, but you never know.
You never know.
They may hear this. Someone in Publix may hear this podcast, and I may be in their holiday, you know.
That's a unique shopping experience.
It really was.
For sure. Yeah, different take on it. So, but people still make excuses. You know, I have personally said this one, and clearly it has not happened. But I don't want to get too muscular. And women say that. I don't think a lot of men are out there saying that very often. But so that can be I want to call that an excuse versus, you know, a reality of where people are really thinking that's going to happen if they get out there and do too much. So, Dr. Chinetti, what do you think about that?
Well, see, I've lived in the bodybuilders world on some level. I got pretty close to competition locally. So I was at the gym. I saw the ladies. And the only way you're going to look like a world wrestling superstar or one of the professional bodybuilders, anabolic steroids. Now, I got to make it clear. There's two different types of steroids. Corticosteroids are the one that you get injected in your knee, you know, the prednisone that you take when you have an asthma attack. Solumedrol, prednisone, these are anti-inflammatories. The anabolic steroids affect androgens, male hormones, and that's what builds the muscle, and it also causes the roid rage, the changes in the memory mentation. So the women who take those controlled drugs, you know, testosterone is a controlled substance, just like morphine, because people misuse it. Yes. Huh. So you don't take those, just work out. All you're going to do is build your muscles to the best your body could do naturally. And we've talked about how we lose muscle mass as we get older. So all you're basically doing is replenishing your muscles to get back to how they looked when you were 20 or 30.
Yeah, that's definitely true, the losing the muscle mass for sure. Yeah. So I've also heard I can't afford it. Well, you don't have to belong to a gym. You can buy a bike. You can hire, hiring trainers, taking classes, buying equipment. You don't have to do any of those things, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So there's so many different solutions.
You know, you can get out and walk in a park. You know, we're in Florida right now. We're under. The heat index is outrageous, but you can get out in the morning. You can get out in the evening.
After it rains, it's perfect.
It really is.
Yeah.
You know, just get out or you can buy the elastic bands, the exercise bands. You can get them at the dollar store.
Yeah.
And they're inexpensive. Use a soup can as a weight, you know, and you get bigger cans when you build up the higher cans or higher weight. You can get used exercise equipment at a garage sale because people will invest in the treadmill, the exercise bike. They'll go out and buy all these weights, and a lot of that equipment becomes stuff in their living room, their den, their bedroom, where they're storing stuff on it because they get all pumped up the first of the year that they're going to do this, and it lasts a very short period of time,
like 30 days.
Well, after that, and so then it's like, oh, it's in my way, I'm going to sell it, and you can get it very inexpensive. So go ahead and buy it. And use it.
Yeah, and if you have access to a pool, I mean, there's so many public pools, or if you belong to a community, there's a community pool. Pools are great exercises, and you don't even feel it. You don't sweat in a pool either. That's an upside, right?
Yeah,
that's true.
Especially if you're not a fan of that. But some people they say they don't have the time. They've got so many different things. Everybody really has time for what they want. Correct, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, I give a pass to people who have young kids, they're caregivers, but I'll say, can you exercise 1 minute a day? Yeah. And then a few days later, 2 minutes. How about 5? How about 10? You can stand and watch TV, have the music channel on, and just move. Remember what you learned in gym class in second grade.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Or get up during a commercial, a commercial, or when the children are doing their homework or something like that, get up during a commercial.
Yeah.
I've actually heard, well, I'm too fat to exercise. I can't go to the gym because I'm too fat. Actually heavier people have faster results than those that are not.
Yeah.
Because the metabolism is going to they're going to burn more calories, and it's been proven. You know, you can decide if you want to dress casually or you want to deck out in the gym attire. You know,
and we mention that because some people look in the mirror in their gym clothes and they go, why bother?
Yeah.
But you put a little makeup on and you buy a cute little pink top and you go, okay, I can see how I can get better with this and change. But don't just go to the gym and drink coffee and talk to people. Of course, you got to actually get closer to the machines to work out.
And you know, you really need to sweat. You really need to put some effort and some energy into it, because energy in is energy out, and that's what it's all about. And, you know, it's not a social hour, but you will find that you will. It's infectious in the sense that you want to do it. You were talking about, you know, that first decision and first step going in there, that once you start going, then it gets like, okay, I want to go. And it's not a competition with other people, but it's almost like the Cheers bar high. Hey, Norm, you know, you don't really know these people, but you know these people through the gym, and they're encouraging.
Yeah. And even if you're just getting out and walking and that's all that you're doing, you start craving that walk. You start realizing, I need that walk. And it's not even just about, I think, the exercise part. It's the mental relaxation. It's the feeling good. There's something about you needing that just for your day. I mean, I kind of feel like it
endorphins.
The endorphins. It just it's a mental health versus the physical health. You're getting the physical, but the mental health from just a walk around the neighborhood or walking the dog or even walking with friends, I think is really, really good too. So there's a couple different things from something really as simple as that.
And, you know, when we talk about, you know, oh, I don't look good, and maybe you know or don't know that I've taught belly dancing for many years.
I did know that. I think that's fabulous.
And it teaches you control. It teaches posture, balance. It builds muscle. It's a workout. But ladies would say, oh, no, that's for pretty girls. And I said, all belly dancers are beautiful. If you belly dance, then therefore you are beautiful by definition. And that changes your perspective. But really, when I was a lot skinnier and a lot younger, a friend of mine went to Egypt and said, what do you want? I said, belly dancing outfit. She's like, they don't make them below size 14.
Really?
Yes, because women are supposed to look like women, you know, and
the curves.
They're beautiful.
Fluffy.
Under all that, you know, lace and bells and whistles and everything. And belly dancing doesn't mean you have to be able to bend over backwards and hit the floor. I've taught it to seniors. You know, I've taught it to kids in Bible school. You know, you leave out the chest moves and you don't do a Turkish shave because, well, this is a family show. But, you know, you can do the steps. You can put your arms up. You can wave a veil around your head. And it's all exercise.
I love it. I think that would be fun to teach seniors belly dancing. I think they would love it.
You can sit in a chair and belly dance.
I love it. I love it.
You know, bottom line is you just move. You know, with the music, you know, with the music, it's sort of like, you know, I've listened to it because I borrowed one of your tapes. And, you know, you just want to move.
You do.
You may not know you know, I watched it and I watched all the moves and stuff. You may not know the technique, but you want to do it. You don't do it like she does it, but you want to do it. And it's like, oh, I can, you know.
And you feel beautiful.
You do. You really do. And it's like your hands and your hips. And it's like, okay, I didn't look like she did, but no one's taping me. But you just do it. And it's fun. And you do feel beautiful. You do. And it's not in a seductive type thing. It's in a beautiful thing. It's expressive. It's like you're expressing I don't know. It's just kind of cool. It really
different.
Is. It really is.
When I go to try on swimsuits in the spring, it's like I need therapy. I wish there was a psychologist outside the dressing room because it's just so upsetting. But the belly dancing costumes make you just feel beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. That too. The costumes itself just kind of add to it. Yeah.
this kind of reminds me, and I don't know why it does, of a time that, we had vultures outside of our office.
From belly dancing to vultures.
Belly dancing to vultures. I don't know, vultures came to mind. And the fact, you were talking about little bulges here, there, and wherever, and those bulges have little fat cells in them. That of the fact that the vultures, that we had a little gentleman walking out of our office, and I told him to hurry up. The vultures would pick him, and and just joking with him, and because you tell people to keep moving. I told him, I said, hurry up,
just keep moving. Those vultures are there.
Hurry up, those vultures are there. They're going to get you. And he was laughing, his family was laughing, and we were just cracking up. And there was no ill intent there, but you got to keep moving.
Yeah,
you got to keep moving.
Yeah.
So we tell people just one step at a time, one move at a time. We never know when the vultures might be up there watching us. So you just got to keep moving. And, so keep that in mind, that the vultures may be up there. And if you've ever seen a vulture, they're nasty looking. They're
so
big
gross.
Birds.
Yeah.
They are big birds.
Yep.
And they can take you,
So you might be laying there on the couch for a couple hours. A vulture might fly in, look at you and go, wow, that looks like...
I need to call
fresh
some
meat.
Yeah, that's right.
I need to call some friends. I need a phone a friend. I need a phone a friend. I can't handle this one by myself, so I need to, phone a friend.
Don't just get up to go to the refrigerator and come back.
No,
Yes.
no. And, and 12-ounce curls are not, your Coke, your soda, or whatever it is you can carry on your plate. Get up and move.
Yeah. I like that. Just keep moving.
Yeah, just keep moving. It works.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to talk about exercise and weight loss.
At Parish Healthcare, we believe in our community. We believe in keeping our community safe. We believe in the art of healing. We believe in healing patients, healing families, healing communities. We believe in the best and brightest working together for the common good. At Parish Healthcare, our team focuses on you as an individual because every life is a work of art to us. Parish Healthcare, where the art of healing comes to life. Visit parishhealthcare.com/healthaware for a free health risk assessment.
Hey, Mom, how's the retirement home search coming?
Oh my gosh, I'm just so stressed out. I don't even know where to begin.
Well, why are you so stressed? What's the matter?
I don't know where to find anything. I just need everything in like one place and know what all the options are.
Does the idea of searching for senior housing seem overwhelming and you just aren't sure where to even begin? SeniorLivingGuide.com has great news for you. We offer a one-stop solution to take the stress out of your senior housing search. At SeniorLivingGuide.com, both our statewide Florida edition book and website are created to make your senior housing search very easy for you to navigate. We provide details on communities, including retirement, assisted living, skilled nursing, memory care, and home health, allowing you to decide which best fits your needs and then connecting you directly with those communities. Visit us online at SeniorLivingGuide.com and start your search today and start de-stressing.
At Parish Healthcare, we believe every life is poetry in motion, motivated by strength and determination. As your bone, muscle, and joint healthcare partners, we believe in blending the art of healing with the science of medicine to keep your body in motion. We believe in healing patients, healing families, and healing communities. For a free orthopedic health assessment, visit parishhealthcare.com/orthoaware. Parish Healthcare, where the art of healing comes to life.
Welcome back. So we've been talking about exercise, and I wanted to kind of hit on, a lot of people exercise just for the point of losing weight, not necessarily anything else. So I've heard that losing weight, 80% is actually done, in the kitchen or kind of what you eat, which, if you're really exercising a lot, that can be unfortunate if you want to exercise and then like binge after. But 20% is done in the gym. So is this factual?
Absolutely.
I knew it.
Yes. But what we have to remember is, generally speaking, the exercise that most of us do burns about 200 calories an hour. And again, the human body's very efficient. It's for centuries, if you were lucky, you got 800 calories a day. So your body couldn't burn up all these calories doing basic things. Now, the professional athletes, the people doing the strongman competition, they're burning hundreds, thousands of calories as they exercise all day under the sun. The rest of us, about 200 calories an hour average. When you talk about walking and biking and bodybuilding and cleaning the house and all that, that's about how much. And part of how exercise is helping you is realizing just how little the exercise is burning the calories and helping you balance the amount of calories that come in versus the amount that you burn up.
I really think that my mind thinks I'm a professional football player, and that's why that, with the eating and stuff, I'm going to have to do some mind thinking. Anyway, enough about that. So if you want to eat a 400-calorie donut, you have to undo it. You've got to do 2 hours on a treadmill.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, wow, was that donut really worth that?
Yeah.
Sometimes it might be, You can't deprive yourself completely, because then you're going to resent the fact that I was deprived and this sort of thing. So, you got to realize that you have control over what goes into your body, or you have to gain control of what goes into your body. So, it's like, okay, it's okay to eat that donut, but you can't eat that donut every day, or 2 or 3 of those donuts every day. It's all about control.
And the other thing is, once you do exercise and you realize, I am controlling my body, I am making my body do this, then food doesn't have the control over you that you think it does.
Right. And food can definitely have a control over you, for sure.
And you won't want that donut.
No.
Or if you might want a bite of it, and then it's like, it wasn't worth it. I really don't want that, because I have worked so hard to do what I just did. And it's like, okay, maybe I'll eat an apple.
Yeah.
Instead of an apple fritter, I'll eat an apple.
Yeah, and I do want to mention, since we're talking a little bit about food and nutrition, that we did 2 podcasts last month. If anyone's listening to this and wants more information, we did Nutrition Nuggets and Food Delicious Food. They are 2 great podcasts that you can go back and listen to for more information on additional details. So what are some of the other direct effects of exercise on your physical body that's not just disease prevention?
Well, it will help you with your balance, and also it preventing falls. And you really don't think about it, but it strengthens your core.
Yeah.
And it will help, that with that core, those core muscles, strengthening them, and your muscle strengthening will also help you. And you don't think about this, your chores that you have to do. We work with seniors, and falls. 5% of the people over the age of 80 that falls ends up in nursing homes, and they don't get out.
No.
I mean, they really don't. It results in death. They're going to break a hip, they're going to break something, or even if they don't break something, it's going to have a catastrophic result.
Yeah, we've talked about that in the past too, that a fall will potentially alter your life forever, that it just completely changes the way that you've been living.
Yeah. So, you strengthen those core muscles, and and as a result of that, you're going to have less apt to fall. It also helps with flexibility. It's going to help you be more flexible. You can reach up and get that out of the top shelf of the cupboard. You can get that pan out of the bottom of the bottom of the stove or wherever, but you're flexible. Your strength and your stretching and your strength of your muscles, it helps with that. Your posture, we've all, posture's a big thing. It's amazing when I say something about posture, everybody sits up straight.
I just did that.
You just sat up straight.
I sure did.
It also helps with your breathing because, we sit and we're hunched over. Our diaphragm is mashed and our lungs are mashed. So it helps with the breathing, which that air exchange is so very important. It also especially helps caregivers. All the things that I just said, is so very important for caregivers. If they don't have that strength, they don't have that flexibility, they don't have that stretch and the strength of those muscles, they can't take care of themselves, but they also can't take care of that person that they are physically taking care of.
Oh, absolutely.
And so they run the risk of pulling a muscle, falling, hurting themselves. And then when something happens to them, then I'm getting phone calls from other people. The doctor's getting phone calls from other people. You know, something's happened to mom, dad, whomever, and then we got a major problem.
Yeah.
Double trouble.
Yeah.
So,
because when you're physically moving and helping someone on and off the bed or go to the restroom, you may have someone's entire body weight that you're helping to maneuver, and if you're struggling with your own strength, that could become an impossible task.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, as an anatomy lesson, what do you think as far as Dr. Trinetti?
Well, I wanted to bring that up because a lot of people are worried about getting hurt. Or they'll say, well, I have arthritis, I can't exercise. Now, let's break down everything. Arthritis is inflammation in the joint itself. Connecting all the joints are tendons and then ligaments. Tendons attach muscle to bone. If you think about a chicken leg, and you got that nice big piece of meat on a chicken leg, and then there's a little string attaching it to the bone. That's the tendon. So you can have tendinitis. The ligaments are kind of like the straps when you have to strap a washing machine onto a dolly and take it. There's not a lot of give. They connect bone to bone. That's their job, is to keep the bones holding together. And you can sprain a ligament, stretch a ligament, but you never heard of ligamentitis.
Right.
Of course,
No.
we may...
Not yet.
I may get a phone call. Bursitis. The bursa are, think of burse. It's a little empty filled cushion, or it's a filled cushion with some fluid in it around your joints to protect them. They can get inflamed, so you can have bursitis. But, so you got bursitis and tendinitis and arthritis, and the thing is most arthritis pain that people have is actually pain in the muscles. It's the spasm around the inflamed joint, and moving actually helps stretch the muscles, relax the muscles, and decrease the pain.
Okay.
Now, rheumatoid arthritis actually does damage to the joints, so folks with true inflammatory rheumatoid arthritis have to really talk to their rheumatologist about what exercises are safe. For the rest of us, we can generally do the routine kind of exercises with just a little caution.
Interesting. A lot of itises out there. Yes.
It's
So
a whole family of them.
I would bet there are.
Yeah.
I will tell you what. So as I age, and this is becoming a factor in my life, osteoporosis, which is regarding the bones. How does exercise affect that?
Well, that's when the bones kind of become thin. Remember, bones are living tissue, and they're like a honeycomb inside. And osteoporosis is that the holes are bigger in the little honeycomb. I have osteoporosis.
Okay.
So I made it a point to change from things like biking or swimming to weight-bearing exercise.
Interesting.
You know, the walking, the marching, the dancing. Absolutely fabulous study called the Dallas Bed Rest and Training Study, 1966. They took some 20-year-old guys. They put them to bed for 3 weeks, and when they got up, they were 50-year-old guys.
Oh, wow.
All of the tests they did on the cardiopulmonary status and the muscle strength, they had aged them 30 years by being in bed 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So 1 week of bed rest or laying on the couch watching Law & Order reruns, which I am guilty of, is equal. 1 week of bed rest is equal to 10 years.
Wow.
Now, you know, the astronauts, they don't come walking out of that rocket when it lands. The weightlessness causes weakness. They do studies on osteoporosis in people who are up in outer space for a long time. Those patients, by the way, they recovered. They got their strength back. And then 30 years later, they did the test again. Well, they tested them, and they said, you know, they lost less muscle mass and cardiac and pulmonary function by keeping active for 30 years than they did in those 3 weeks when they were 20.
Wow.
Because they knew it and they were actively trying to build it back.
Yep.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
That's a great study.
You know, there are studies on senior patients with diffused atrophy as well, and you know that's not just muscle weakness. That is shrinkage of those muscles. You know, we hear about atrophy in the brain for our Alzheimer's patients, but you know the muscles can atrophy as well. These folks actually have inability to make decisions. The ones that have atrophy in the brain, but you know.
Yeah, and more than diffuse.
Yeah.
Disuse.
Yeah, disuse of it.
And just by not moving,
Yeah.
it's affecting your ability to make decisions.
Absolutely.
And bladder and bowel function, the reflux in these folks were worse for the folks who just laid around.
Really?
And there's your core, Janet. You're talking about all these muscles. Of course, cardiovascular system aging, hardening of the arteries, and then serotonin levels. Serotonin is that brain chemical that keeps us happy. They were lower in people who just weren't moving.
Laid around and did nothing. Wow.
You know, and of course there are folks who are, they are bedbound, they're ill, they have all these illnesses. But for the rest of us, we can do something to prevent some of these things happening.
And sometimes it's, we don't consciously sit down and do nothing. It just becomes a habit.
Right.
We
can get brain fatigue sometimes. I think if you're doing brain activity type of work, then you physically can feel tired, and that's what kind of if you don't make yourself get up and walk around the block or do some exercises or get out and do some of those additional activities, you'll let yourself go into what you think is a relaxation mode when your body actually hasn't been moving, but your brain has been moving, kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. And we think we're healing, we're resting our body to prepare it for like next week or whatever, where in reality, we're just shutting our body down as opposed to getting it ready for the next work week or whatever. Right.
So there's a couple of exercises that aren't like, hardcore exercises per se, I guess. Or there's 3 types of exercises. You have stretching, you have cardio or aerobic exercising, and then you have bodybuilding. So there's really 3 types of exercising. Stretching would be almost I want to say maybe a relaxing one, yoga or Tai Chi. So what kind of exercises would you consider in those types of?
Well, they're sitting and to be fit.
Okay.
It's a sanctioned program that is on across the United States.
On the PBS
channel. And, she's also, there's DVDs that you can get. They're at the library. You can check them out for free. And it's an RN that does that program. It's 30 minutes. I recommend it all the time for my caregivers and also for the patients. And, I always tell them to check with your doctor to make sure there's not. But they're sitting there. They're moving their arms. They're moving their legs. And if you're not able to do everything that she's doing, modify it. It is just really because she's working on core. She's working on flexibility. She's working on whatever it may be. But it really is a great program. The cardio aerobic exercises, that's getting your heart rate up. That's moving and that sort of thing. There's, bicycling. If stationary bike, or they have the little pedal bikes that you can slide under your bed. You can use those for your feet to get your legs moving. You can also use them with your hands to get your arms moving and to keep your shoulders moving to prevent that locking of your muscles in your back and your shoulders. I recently had some physical therapy, and I had to do those. I had hurt my shoulder, and that's what I was doing. So I'm continuing to do that. I have one of those at home.
Nice.
It's kind of cool. Walking. Even people that are on canes and walkers. You don't have to walk 5 miles. You don't have to go anywhere. Walk around the house. Walk to the end of the driveway and back. It starts with 1 step, but be careful. And again, make sure you got clearance with your doctor. Running. Now, if you ever see me running, stop what's chasing me. I'm not a runner. I'm a walker, but, running. there are folks that they thrive on running. You know, we've got the Space Coast runners. You know, running is just what they do. Dancing, we've talked about dancing. It's just everybody can dance. Marching, you know, marching in place.
Yeah.
That's something that my Parkinson's folks have found that gets them moving. When they freeze, and that's one of the things that happens with the Parkinson's folks is they have that freezing phenomenon, is to count, hit their leg, and start marching. It unfreezes them. But you can also march, and you get your brain working, get your legs working, and you can march around your house, inside the house. You know, you can use records, DVDs, the radio. You know, again, we talk about our favorite song, the music videos. You know, MTV, VH1. We all, you know, back.
I will bet you can find some really great stuff on YouTube.
Yeah. You know, the TV channels with the music. There's probably 20 music channels. Any type of music you like, it's on there. And you know, but try something different.
Yeah.
You know, I don't speak Spanish. I don't know what they say, but buddy, I tell you that the Spanish channel, that music is infectious. You know, you just want to move.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't have to dance like they do, but you can dance. I mean, it's just absolutely.
I would break a hip dancing like they do.
Well, yeah, but it's you think you're belly dancing, but you're doing something else, and it's just, oh my goodness. I'm not going to go out to any of the clubs or anything like that because I don't know where the clubs are, but I wouldn't go anyway. But you can do it in your living room, and it's like, oh my goodness, you're dusting and you're vacuuming and you're mopping and all at the same time, and you know nobody's looking, the blinds are closed, but it's like, oh my goodness, I just did that, and it's fun.
You know what I love to do? One of the things, and I'm telling on myself, is I love 80s music. So I have an Alexa, and she does what I tell her to do most of the time. Sometimes she does her own thing, and I don't know what she's doing. But if you say, hey, Alexa, play top 80 hits from 1987 or, you know, whatever, she'll play some of my favorite stuff. Or I like Queen, play Queen or whatever. And then you really can go back almost in a time machine of some of your favorite stuff. And that can really get you going because it's just... It's classic stuff that just is happy stuff. It's just not, you know, whatever's on or, you know, random stuff. It really can be very specific. And if you have an Alexa, she just does what you want. And it's just, you can tell her what to do.
Yeah, and I'm a girl of the 70s, so
there
I'm
you
back
go.
in the 70s.
Exactly.
You're doing the disco music, disco duck.
Yeah, and I am back there where, and some of that music puts me back to where I was when I heard it, and I can smile.
Yeah, exactly. And it can get you and I will clean to that all day long or do laundry. It really does put me in a place where you're moving and shaking. You're not, and if you're even doing that, you're not necessarily exercising, but you're getting stuff done. You're being active. Just keep moving.
Just keep moving.
Just keep moving.
Just keep moving.
And now the other exercise is the bodybuilding,
right?
Which people need to do a little bit of to rebuild that muscle. How does it work? Literally lifting the weights, you're doing little tiny microscopic tears to the muscle, and then the muscle rebuilds and it rebuilds bigger. So if you suddenly got a job as a ditch digger, your muscles aren't used to that job. You'll dig the ditch and the muscles will be hurting and damaged, and then they'll start rebuilding over the next couple days. That's why you're sore 48 hours later. So, but your body knows, okay, I have to build these muscles to do this job. So it's all part of it. Again, you have to really, know what you're doing or get a trainer. And don't overdo, because you could do damage just because your body could lift something that's 50 pounds doesn't mean you should, because then you would damage the tendons, the muscles, the joints, as opposed to building your body.
But when I get a little bit sore from working out, I actually kind of like that feeling. Except when I get out of bed first thing in the morning, then it's like, OMG, I got to move a little bit until it gets a little bit less sore. But that feeling of soreness, I feel like I've accomplished something. And I do feel like I'm making progress. And it really encourages me to get out and keep working out and getting to a point where I'm working those muscles or what have you, and I'm not having that soreness. So it really does. I like it. Maybe I'm a weirdo. Who knows? But I think at the end of the day, we all should be moving just a whole lot more. And there are exercises for everyone, whether it's yoga, whether it's bodybuilding, whether it's jumping in a pool or getting in a pool, not necessarily jumping, walking around your neighborhood, walking around your house. And if you're unable to, just lifting small weights, whatever the case may be. And it really isn't ever too late. I think it's really important to consistently stay active. And there's something that we can do and find and enjoy, whether it's a group exercise class, bodybuilding, yoga, even walking in the woods. You just have to keep moving. And as Janet would say, don't let the vultures get you. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this episode. If you did enjoy this episode, please, once again, we can be found anywhere that you listen to music or podcasts, such as Google, Spotify, Apple, or any of those places. We have so many great episodes from the past that are great resources for our seniors and their caregivers. Thank you so much.